The guys who have no self-control, Thailand is the worst. So Thai girls are going to get a hold of you.
So I just threw that video up there. This guy, I kind of like his stuff, but the way I kind of brought this video intro is that there is not only having discipline, but there's disciplines to travel, especially if you're going to come to this region. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about the 5 disciplines just for today on what I think you're going to need as a Kickstarter to your holiday, vacation, or if you're going to come out here to live. There's certain things that need to be right here all the time. How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This will be my first excerpt in Thailand. I just got in a couple of days ago, and I wanted to do a video. It's a basic one, but anything with a travel trade craft that I can help you with, or just certain ideas that can kind of jog some type of antenna raising on your end, is something that I like to do. Even if it's a recap, I'm around 200 videos in, so sometimes I might have touched on a topic. Some of you bring that out at times that I might have covered this, but I always will add a little bit more nuance and information. So the first thing I want to get into today is going to be this. Kind of do this sequentially if you're a traveler. And obviously we're speaking about Southeast Asia, more specifically Thailand today. And I guess what you might want to do is that you might want to have an overt showing of wealth, because when you come here, you watch Instagram or whatever you watch, and you might want to garner the attention of some of these, Thai all-stars with the balloons and the lashes. And you might think that that's going to be your conduit to basically pull these girls in. So, you might throw the Rolex on, the Patek Philippe, whatever it might be. But the dilemma with that is that when you come to a country where, I don't want to say it's third world, but not everyone is economically viable, you make yourself a target. Could there be, and usually there is, it depends on the country that we're speaking about, are there sometimes spotters at the airport? Meaning that when you come off the plane, you got your Tumi or Rimowa luggage, you got like I said, your timepiece on, and then all of a sudden, maybe they follow you to wherever you're staying. Now, as an example, I'll try to cross-correlate this to Miami. There's a story that comes out of there, is that they would do this. So as soon as you checked into the hotel, they would have a spotter, right? So now all of a sudden you go to the pool. I'll try to fast forward everything. So now if you're in the pool and you don't have that watch on while you're in the pool, someone's going to go into your room, they're going to sift around, and they're basically going to look to clip your $20,000 to $30,000 watch. And that's how the game is played in certain regions. So just keep that in mind. An overt showing of wealth, a little bit of a high level idea. If you want to take the timepiece with you, let's just say, now forget about K&R. If you know what that is, there are certain watches called clones, which means you can have a Rolex, but it's a fake. It's a good fake maybe. And then all of a sudden you have the real one and you have the fake one. So what you do is that you leave the fake one pretty much right out in the open. So now if you're basically a thief, you might say, wow, this is too good to be true. This guy left this on the counter. So basically, even if you're an arch criminal, you've been doing it your whole life, you're going to be a little nervous. So if you could do a smash and grab and you'd be like, there's the watch, you might just take it and then, move on to whatever else you're going to do. And then that other watch, the real one, is somewhere else. So let's move into number 2 regarding what I like to call the disciplines of travel. So if we have to try to do this sequentially, I'm trying to think how you're going to operate or what's naturally going to happen to you when you come to a region. So obviously you got off the plane, you checked in. We spoke about overt wealth and showcasing exactly what you have, especially about what you wear, etc. So now The thing is that you're going to communicate, especially out here. You're going to try to garner some of the talent, the lashes and the balloons, or wherever you might be regarding adult entertainment. So now, when it comes to that, you're going to say, hey, what's your phone number? What's your line ID? What's your WhatsApp? And because obviously you're going to need a way, you're going to need a way to get in touch with these potential, I don't want to say victims, even though I know some of these are predators, some of these potential, people that you might want to meet, strike up some type of relationship with. So now, one of the mistakes you're going to make is that, everyone uses their Instagram as their business card. So obviously, let's say you mess around and things happen, which means one slips past the goalie. If you don't understand what that means that, you're with someone, you're having a great time. But now, they can track you down, and people are smart today, meaning that they're going to look to go after your money, meaning that if you knock somebody up is really what I'm trying to say. The Instagram, sometimes when I walk around with this camera, I just remember that you could be on the most abandoned road, and then all of a sudden it's like a movie scene and people just start coming out of nowhere. But anyway, so we got the Instagram as a no-no, okay, maybe even a fake one. But a lot of times they're going to be like, they might question that. A lot of you might say WhatsApp a line ID, which is most common out here in the region. But the problem is that with those apps, you have to input or to utilize, you have to use your real number. So what I recommend is that I call it ghost communication, that you try to basically secure a phone out here. The only dilemma at times is that sometimes they're going to require a passport, but you're going to have to search around and look to get that ghost phone, because all of a sudden, if something goes haywire and you want to disappear, you can do so with this ghost communication. You can't be tracked. And once again, I'm also big on you not using your real government name when you start to meet people. Adopting a protocol that could potentially keep you out of harm's way is probably the way to do it, because after a while, you're probably going to get sloppy. What's the big deal? Blah, blah, blah. But you got to understand something. If it could come back to you and, these people that you're going to deal with aren't as dumb as you think, especially when push comes to shove and there's money involved. People will go leaps and bounds, and people are a little bit more educated today. So just keep that in mind. You shouldn't be able to be found via your communication unless one of the alphabet agencies get involved, and they would even have a hard time to find you. So coming up on number 3 is it's going to be something very common that happens to you. You're going to be in and out of the parlors. You're going to be meeting people. And a common question you're going to hear, it's going to be basically their script, if you understand who they are. It's going to be like how long you stay. Now, that could be the Bolt or Grab driver. It could be whoever you're dealing with. Now, the thing is that it could be an innocuous question or harmless. But then at the same time, maybe for whatever reason, I know I sound like a paranoid human, is that they could be sizing you up. I knew that guy was lost. So now, what it is that I would basically say, and this is usually my response, I'm really not sure. I may bounce around to Phuket, Vietnam. I'm not 100% sure. And also what goes along with that is, where are you staying? Now, there are some tendencies here, not saying me, because, I'm a man of the cloth, is that stalk hates me. This gate better be good. So the thing is that via my experience or hearing from others, there's a little bit of a stalker tendency. So now all of a sudden, you say, hey, I'm staying at Sand Tip Hotel, whatever it might be. Come on, buddy. Yeah, let me help you out here, big prick. So anyway, I don't know if this is going to make the outfits. Okay, buddy. Nice work. You're going down an alley. You're the size of the fucking you, though. Anyway, so as we talk, you should not tell them where you're living, because what may happen, let's say you try to ghost, is they might be outside waiting for you. So once again, we got comms, we got location. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to teach you the trade craft of espionage, but things can get tricky when you're traveling. So a lot of you are going to be solo travelers or nomadic, and you're going to be bouncing around. And what you're doing right now is you stumbled onto my page, and you're looking to absorb as much information as possible on where you want to go. You probably plugged in Thailand or whatever it might have been. So the thing is that, you might become lonely. And I did a whole piece on that regarding being lonely. So the thing is that Beware of fast friends. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means basically, you're going to be at the gym, you're going to be maybe go out, and you're going to meet people from all over. Now, I'm not saying be a hermit. You could be friendly. But if you look historically in the newspapers, you listen to this and that, is that a lot of people make fast friends and they're not always, as somebody said on one of my videos, goes, we're not sending our best, which means there could be some nefarious intentions and you might become a mark for whatever reason. So just beware, once again, protocol in place. How much do you tell these people you just met? I know people personally, especially when they have a couple of drinks in them, they start telling you a life story. I mean, I know everything about you and within about 4 minutes. Now, once again, OPSEC or operational security, which means you should follow, as little as possible, make conversation, remember what your story is at all times. And like I said, some of you are like, well, this guy's off the rails. He's almost paranoid. But the problem is you're out here alone. Okay. And I would just say it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to these matters of the heart, so to speak. So now let's close out with this fifth discipline. So let's get into the fifth discipline. Now, just keep in mind, there's many things to go over regarding travel or just safety and awareness, threat assessment, etc. If you don't know, I come from a law enforcement background. I'm retired and I'm doing whatever I want, whenever I want to do it. If you like this kind of content and you want to support the channel, you hopefully could, if you're a viewer, hopefully you become a subscriber. And also you could support me on a platform ironically called Buy Me a Coffee. The channel's called Coffee and Juice. So that's something that you could do if you like this content and you want to help me out with the channel. So now you're perusing the internet, you're seeing all these things and, obviously everyone's throwing out content in Thailand and you see all these girls, blah, blah, blah. The problem is that a lot of yous are basically a desert right now. And listen, I know it's hard to meet people. It doesn't matter what country or whatever, wherever you're listening from. It's hard to meet girls today. Who's got the OnlyFans? You can't trust them. Who wants your money? Or whatever, who wants the, Cash App? I don't even know you. So the thing is that when you get your opportunity and you come down here to partake in the adult entertainment, you may not understand that this is the hub for HIV. Now, some of you are like, well, they have medication for that. The problem is if you do your homework, and that's another vector of this channel, is that medication will rip you apart. So what I would say, and you're going to hate me for it, is that you should beg. So you should beg for every, how can I say this, every event that you're involved in. Now, I'm talking about the big event, and I'm talking about things that might lead up to that event. You might want to beg because, you don't want to maybe bring, something home to your old lady if you're playing that game. And also certain things you can't get rid of. And especially the one I just mentioned prior. So all I would say is that for everything, you should beg. If you walk the streets, like I'm in Bangkok right now, I like to use the word monger. There's a lot of people down here. I'm not saying I'm Brad Pitt, whatever. We're all the same. But when you see some of these characters down here, some of you might subscribe to the channel, which I appreciate you, of course. But I'm saying everyone gets to get, play. Everyone's getting in the game. Everyone's getting, you're the sixth man off the bench. You're doing whatever you got to do. But the problem is, if YouTube is a community, if the moderators listen, and I'm sure they are, you're helping me out being safe, and I'm helping you out by very clean practices. Obviously, nobody's telling you to come down here and be a monk. Yeah, I'm going to meditate, do yoga, Muay Thai. I get it. That's all part of the packaging here in the kingdom. But at the same time, unless you're a special human, I'd like to meet you. You can email me. You're going to do what you got to do. But play it safe. And once again, I'm back in the kingdom for around 6 or 7 months. I'm going to do my best to try to give you a little bit of different stuff, a little bit of the same. And hopefully you got something out of this piece today. And I don't like this block. I'll never do this again. But keep yourself safe and we'll talk soon.